Hello, my name is Casey Barnes, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on mental health across cultures. In this presentation, I hope to answer the question, how do different cultures view and deal with the issue of mental health? So the first aspect that we'll look at is culture-bound syndromes. These are syndromes that appear to be greatly influenced by cultural factors, and they occur less frequently or in very different ways throughout different cultures. So here are just a few examples of some culture-bound syndromes. Like in Africa, they have what's called voodoo death, where people are convinced that a curse has been put on them or they've broken a taboo, which can lead to an extreme fear reaction that will sometimes lead to their death. So we see that many different cultures have different syndromes and issues based on their beliefs and the aspects of their culture. And the next thing that we see is we see universal syndromes, those that are found to be similar and prevalent across many cultures. Examples of universal syndromes are depression, social anxiety disorder, schizophrenia, and suicide. So we want to take a deeper look into suicide. Suicide is considered universal because it's seen and observed everywhere in every culture. However, with suicide comes different cultural influences that impact the rates that we see of suicide and the motivation behind why someone would commit suicide. In many Western cultures, we see that suicide stems from depression, economic trouble, tragic life events, and so on. In contrast, though, in other cultures, in Japan, for example, there's an actual ritual where people will kill themselves to preserve the honor of their family. So it's a very different reasoning than we would see in a Western culture. So now we want to take a look into mental health treatment because we see that the issues vary and so will the treatment. So here we see some examples of the varying mental health treatment found in cultures. Some cultures will seek support from their friends and others, and other cultures will not do that because of a fear of maybe disturbing their relationships. Some give emotion-focused support and others give problem-focused support. Some cultures, specifically Western cultures, will seek professional treatment, and others will use their family or their spiritualism or religion as mental health treatment. So here we see another example. In Japan, they do use therapy, but it's a different type of therapy than in Western cultures. They'll have one type of therapy where they do activities, but it's paired with meditations and sessions with a therapy. And the goal of that is not to change the symptoms, but to change the individual's perspective on those symptoms. And another type of therapy will provide an individual with insight into their past and encourage them to appreciate and see their indebtedness to the kindness of others. And in conclusion, we see that mental health varies across cultures, with some issues being bound to a certain culture and others found all over the world. Different cultures have varying approaches to how they deal with the issues of mental health, but mental health is a real thing found all over the world. All right, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.